The Unholy is a 2021 film that is streaming on Netflix currently. This stars Jeffrey Dean Morgan, and this is an adaptation of a book called Shrine, if I'm not mistaken. And this is another one I caught on Netflix, and another one that I've been wanting to watch for a while. I was certainly sold on the idea of this film, and from what I saw in clips and posters, and I definitely wanted to go into it blind. And I did. Perfect time to see it on Netflix, so I checked it out. And man, this is one hell of a CGI fest, and not a thrill in sight. It's a very commercialized film, so it's certainly for the mainstream. It is PG-13. It doesn't A, do anything new, and B, do anything creative at all. It's about this girl who she lives in like a small town, you could say. Her name is Alice, and she begins to perform miracles once on herself because she is a deaf girl, and then she develops the ability to speak and sense and hear, and like basically she was a mute before, but she begins to speak, and then she begins to perform miracles for other people in the city through Mary. Although it ends up not being Mary the Virgin, but the spirit, the entity performing the miracles, ends up being Mary Eleanor. And with every miracle performed, death often follows, and this evil entity is basically just wanting to condemn people to hell, and this is like a imposter of the Virgin Mary, essentially. The CGI is beyond bad. I'm like, there's this one scene in particular, closer to the beginning of the film, when we first, like, it's a dream sequence, but it's played off like there's this weird element to like a filter. It's a pure filter on this river, and the river's kind of like reddish, and then the entity starts to come up, and it starts to twitch and starts to come up to the camera, and I'm just like, holy shit, sci-fi movie. Like, is that what you want to be, is a sci-fi movie? Then be a sci-fi movie. This is obviously a huge budget film that is relying on the cheapest effects I've ever seen in a high budget film. It's absolutely ridiculous. And it's ridiculous how seriously this film takes itself, which makes it even more, I hate to say, but embarrassing. There's comedic moments in this film where it's not supposed to be comedic at all, with this entity and her face, and she looks dumb, and she looks like a cartoon, and it's stupid. It's stupid looking, and it's not scary, and it's just, it's ridiculous. I don't know. This is one of those films where the director is filming, and I, or editing, or whatever they're doing, post or whatever, and it's like I can't see who's looking at this and saying, oh yeah, this is going to scare the shit out of people, oh yeah, this is going to mess people up. I just can't see it. I'm like, how? Jeffrey Dean Morgan, even, I don't know if he can't bring anything to the table because he doesn't have anything to bring to the table, but he's not a bad actor. But in this movie specifically, nah, he doesn't do a very good job. Carrie Ells is in here too, from Saw. We all know him from Saw, and he pops up here and there. He's not like the most legendary actor in the world, but he's not a bad one. Again, doesn't bring much to the table at all in this one. And it's going throughout the film where, you know, this girl Alice, she's has tremendous faith. This film does play with faith and you know, good versus evil a lot, but doesn't utilize it very well at all. I did enjoy this one scene with the priest in this movie who plays, I forget the priest's name. There's two. There's Carrie Ells, and then there's this other priest who's the uncle of Alice, and he's having this conversation with Jeffrey Dean Morgan about miracles and strong acts of faith, and then he's like, there's nothing the devil likes more than strong acts of faith, or to corrupt us with strong acts of faith, or to corrupt us with miracles. I did like that speech that they were having. And he also quoted Martin Luther. I'm paraphrasing, but whenever a church is built, the devil built a chapel right beside it, something along those lines. I found that really cool. I found it cool that he quoted Martin Luther. Even Jeffrey Dean Morgan mentions it. And other than that cool banter, I don't think there was anything else that was memorable at all, or worthwhile at all when it comes to the discussion of good versus evil. This film didn't discuss anything that's that merits a story whatsoever. And then they start to play off where in the climax of the movie, when like the entity is like discovered, for some reason Jeffrey Dean Morgan walks into the church and starts to like, I can't think of the right word for it specifically, but you know when somebody comes and starts disproving everything somebody believes in, or like starts saying like, oh, like somebody thinks something is one way and they're like, oh no, it's because of this, because science. He starts to do that, and I was confused because it's like, why are you like debunking religion all of a sudden when you know what's going on here about an evil Mary, what the hell was her name? Mary Eleanor. We know Mary Eleanor is a demonic entity that's doing all this chaos, and you're saying like, oh no, it's all bogus, religion's bogus, yada yada, bogus, bogus. It's the placebo effect that cured that kid. It's science cured that kid. It's just like, why? Like we're dealing with faith here in this movie, and it's just kind of thrown away for a little while, even though you know that there's a demonic entity at work, and that's been proven that the evil side has been showing itself through the whole film. Why are we dismissing it? I don't get it. Just a little tidbit that didn't make sense again, and then they tack on the ending of the film with a Bible quote, and then they say written for the screen and based off that book Shrine or whatever, and I'm like, I probably would rather read the book because I'm sure the book would be at least a tiny bit better, if anything, but I'm sure it would be way better than what this film turned out to be, and it was also produced by Sam Raimi. Kind of surprising and really, really shocking that Sam Raimi would be a producer behind this project. But, I mean, when it comes to producers, it is what it is. You see names dropped all over the place, and producers are really just financiers, essentially. They hear about a project, it sounds cool to them, so they support it. So it doesn't mean anything about their talents or what they can bring their style-wise to a movie, but it's still kind of weird seeing Sam Raimi's name on this because it's like it doesn't seem Sam Raimi-esque at all, other than maybe the subject matter, maybe to a little smidge. But The Unholy was not worth a viewing at all. There's no scares. It's not even fun to watch as a comedy. This film is just so offensively bad and missing its mark that I couldn't help but give it a half star. I'm sorry. Not for me, not worth my time at all. Not to be so harsh, but just gotta say it how it is. It's what I do. So, and I watch these movies specifically to review, so I have to review them. So, subscribe to Morgan Film Fan if you like to listen to my voice, or if you like my film reviews. I'll be back with more soon, so stay tuned for those. Check out what's on the channel already. Stay tuned for what's coming. Until next review. Have a good one. Take care and cheers.